Next card. It's a weird looking card. What the heck is this?
Quito? Quito.
I didn't think this through. All right, let's continue.
Rack cat? A raccoon? What does that say? Loses all mobility when not in Japan. Rocket attacks target insanely loud noises.
All right. It's nice looking.
I'll order some more of these Begimon cards for my shipper. Hang on, you guys. Pizza pie, Felipe, pizza pie. Turn on the ovens. Mozzarella and delicious.
Spam cans, you are literally not getting less gameplay. Sorry, I disagree with you. Even when we were doing the 13 packs on the TCG card stream, I ended up doing it a little extra. So we still got over 90 minutes of gameplay of TCG, which is about what we would do on a normal night stream anyway. So I disagree with you. Sorry. Here's what it is. There are some people, okay, who really are happy for my success and they love it. And then there's some people who absolutely hate my success and they're going to say negative things about it no matter what. And then there's people who are just deathly afraid of change. They don't like anything to change because if they like a certain thing, they don't want it to go away or change it anyway. So I want you to think about 2 years ago when I started doing a collab with Kino Casino and everyone was like, what are you doing? This isn't you. This isn't your content. This isn't what you're all about. Why are you doing this? And I said, trust me. Okay? So here we are, 2 years later. Have things gone horribly wrong? Is everything awry? Has everything blown up and burned down? Did I stop being a gamer? No. All you had to do was trust me, right? So you trusted me, and now we're here. Okay? Now, every once in a while, could I do drama? Yes. And now there kind of is an audience for it. If someone wants me to cover a dramatic topic, react to a documentary or whatever, I can get an audience for it when I so choose to have it be part of my content. But I don't need to constantly be doing that kind of crap because I actually have other content that's meaningful and positive. I don't need to be toxic drama shit constantly like the lowbrow idiots out there. That's all they can get attention for. I'm different. I'm built different. I can do other stuff. But I can also jump over there and dabble in that stuff when I need to. Okay? You trusted me, I delivered. In the case of this Pokemon stuff, okay, I totally understand there are people that are freaking out. And they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? This isn't, gameplay or whatever. I've done nonstop gameplay for 18 years. You get that, right? Like, I've done the same thing for 18 years. I like doing it, but at some point, you have to try to differentiate yourself a bit. You have to try different stuff. You have to do different things. If you don't, you get stagnant. And then people get bored. And then they move on. And that's what happens, man. You have to be doing stuff to reinvent yourself. And I have been trying this frequently over the last several years. And spoiler alert, it's working. I'm getting a lot of attention. I'm getting great support. I'm in a better position today than I have been ever. And I mean that, and I keep explaining that to you guys, and some people don't want to hear it because they are afraid of change. But in truth, I'm doing better today than I was doing back in the day when I was a prominent YouTuber bringing in 10 million views a month. I make more now. And I'm this rinky-dink guy getting 259 viewers on his YouTube stream, 100 viewers on his Kick stream, and probably 2,000 people illegally restreaming me. I'm doing better now. So why the fuck do I care about back then and making on-demand gameplay videos constantly? It's a thing of the past. I'm not saying I want to abandon my identity as a gamer. I'm never going to do that. I love games, and it is the core of my content. But after 18 years, every once in a while, you should try something different. Sometimes it works. And in this case, for a month straight, things have been going great. So why would I be like, oh, no, this is horrible? Well, it's not. It's the opposite. And I get it. Some people are like, well, I don't like Pokemon. Then don't show up for the Pokemon streams. You don't have to be here. This show, this podcast, has always been about the happenings and things around my content and streams, right? So this podcast, of course, is going to cover topics like what's going on right now with the Pokemon card craze and how it's blown up on this channel. But at the very same time, it's not the end-all be-all, right? We just talked about the holiday. We talked about summertime, new animations, anything that's going on with gaming. We cover current events and news. This show is not just about Pokemon cards, but it will discuss them when they're pertinent, okay? As for other things, for example, tonight on the Mina the Hollower stream, we're playing Mina the Hollower. We're not going to talk about Pokemon and stuff. Now, if people support the stream, at the end of the stream, we'll take 15 extra minutes to open Pokemon cards. And that's it. You don't have to worry that, oh no, I want to see him play Mina the Hollower. Why is he talking about Pokemon the whole time? I won't be. Tomorrow when we do Resident Evil, I won't be. Shit, on Friday night when we were doing fighting games, I don't think we mentioned it once except at the very beginning and the very end. That's it. So what you're hearing is a lot of white noise from idiots who don't like my success. People are saying, you see, Phil's just becoming a Pokatuber. Well, I'm not, but people are jealous and angry that I'm making money. So therefore, they want to talk shit constantly and misrepresent what it is. And I'm sure, I haven't seen any, because I don't watch my detractor content. I'm sure that all they've been saying for the last month is Phil's a Pokatuber and he's grifting and all this is about money and all that. When in reality, I'm just trying to differentiate myself as a creator. I don't want to just do the same thing forever, and I have to try new stuff. We know that every once in a while I can dabble in drama. It works, but I don't have to do it all the time, right? I tried some other stuff. We tried reacting for 2 years. It worked for a little bit, and it got played out. Then we tried the quartering react, and it worked. So if you do it rarely, it works, right? Reacting I can do, drama I can do. Here's something new, the Pokemon content. Well, it's working, right? And the other thing you have to understand, it's not going to be all about Pokemon forever. It's a dead time of the year for game releases in general. That's why we've been doing so much Pokemon content. Now, July is going to have several new releases. August, September, October, even more. So even though we may continue to open Pokemon cards, probably I won't be playing Pokemon after Brilliant Diamond. I'll probably give it a rest. As we focus on all this other stuff that's not Pokemon gaming, we'll still have the card openings, but it won't be Pokemon gameplay. So I hope that makes sense to a lot of people. Some people are just afraid of change. But again, I must urge you to people like Stormforest Gamer right here. He says, I've been a fan for over 10 years, and I'll say there has been a lot of Pokemon content recently. You're right, because there's been nothing else to play. Just think about it. We did Pokemon Legends ZA, then it's DLC, then Fire Red, then Champions, and now Brilliant Diamond, right? Why? Because there's nothing else going on. If there were other games that were high priority games, if a AAA game came out that was worth half a shit, we'd be playing it. But instead, we're getting fucking slop, right? We're getting Crimson Desert and fucking 007 First Light, boring ass shit. I don't want to play that. So I got to find stuff to fill the time until hot new games come out. And they are. I'm excited for Assassin's Creed 4 Resync. I loved Assassin's Creed 4. I think that this is going to be an even better version, and we haven't played it in over a decade. That's going to be sweet. There's good stuff coming. We just have to do other stuff in the meantime. A nice summertime evening scene. That's a summertime evening scene. And I also have a nice summertime beach scene as well for random contributions. Thank you, John, for the super chat. I appreciate that. And then we have a flex. Our first flex of the week. Fresh off my workout last night. Yeah, I'm a choke. Nice flex. Good first flex of the week right there. Very nice. I want to tell everyone, rest assured, I'm not becoming a full-time Pokatuber. That's not my intention. It doesn't matter how much money I make doing it. That's not what I'm about. You guys know that, because if I was about the money, I would have been doing full-time drama and other shit a million years ago. I would have taken the paycheck from Keemstar. I would have been, you know what I mean? I'm not about that. I'm about making content that's fun, but I do need to find ways to differentiate myself. I can't just sit here and pretend like being the guy that just plays games all day in his 40s is going to work forever. It's not. I have to do different things. People have really liked this over the last month. So for now, we're going to keep it going. But hey, it might peter out. It might die out. And if it does, that's fine. Then we go back to focusing on games or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But makes sense? I hope it does. Okay. And the truth is, I really like this. Like, this is nice. Having another kind of a hobbyist thing, because I used to collect cards in my youth, to now have kind of a hobby going on that's a live part of my content, to have that hobbyist mentality and interactions with you guys about this. I've learned so much about this hobby in the last month. It's fun, as well as profitable for me, but it's actually fun, okay? Good stuff. Okay. So, rest assured, trust me, this is the same exact situation we were in 2 years ago. Oh, nice! Lance Catamaran, thanks for the gifted. I have a lot of shout-outs to do for the record. Thank you, Lance Catamaran. That's an awesome one. For the Star Fox playthrough that starts on Thursday, do a barrel roll. Very nice. Okay, so, I'm not going to become a full-time PokeTuber, but we are trying to differentiate. It's working, okay? Thank you for helping me to brainstorm ideas and things on how to make this stuff work. I really appreciate that. Let's keep it rolling for now. But understand, this doesn't mean, oh, Phil's going to skip all the games now. No. I'm going to keep playing all the new games. It's what I'm about. I am a gaming YouTuber. Just, I guess the definition of gaming can evolve. Now, I'm a video gamer, but I'm also kind of a hobbyist card gamer, TCG gamer, right? I'm doing different things. That's a good thing. Eventually, perhaps, we break this out into its own content. Maybe eventually I do, like someone suggested, maybe once or twice a month I do a show that's just card-centric. And that way we look at my collection, we get caught up on the, like, what's the new stuff coming out? And what do we want to maybe pre-order? And, let's take a look and sort my collection. And let's, a recap on the Wall of Fame and stuff like that. And we could do stuff like that way it's not every stream, right? That could work too. Okay? All right. I have a ton of shout-outs to do. Holy crap. Let's do some shout. Here's the thing. When you are around, as long as I have been, okay? Some people start to think of you as an institution. Seriously. Like, the people are like, Phil, he'll always be around. If there was a supernova outside, he'd be streaming. If there, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. That's how Phil is. He is the rock against which the waves crash, and even though that he erodes over time, he's still gonna be there. Like, you know what I mean? It's true. Like, I've been here 18 years. I'm still successful. I still love what I'm doing. A zillion people have taken shots at me, and I'm still here. It doesn't matter what they say or do. I'm immune to all their bullshit, right? So the problem is, when people start to rely on you, then people start to have a certain expectation of who you are and what you do. And I think that for a lot of my long-running fans, like, not to be toxic or negative, but I think that there are a few people who have been around for a long time. They only know me as the guy to play games, right? You know what I'm saying? He's playing games all day. He's playing games all day. Okay, I get it. I've done that for 18 years. I've already been telling you guys over the last several years, as I get older, we're going to have to find a way to differentiate. I can't just sit here playing games all day, every day. It doesn't work. I'm going to get older. People aren't going to care about old man Phil playing every game anymore. They're going to want to see other content. We're going to have to figure out other things to do, not just sit here playing video games all day. Okay, so it's good to try different things. It is. I don't want that to permeate my content and be the end-all, be-all of who I am. I don't want this to be a full-time thing where all I do is open Pokemon cards, sort Pokemon cards, talk about Pokemon cards, okay? But at the same time, the fact that I tried this on a whim, honestly, because it really was just a thing. Someone had mentioned it, hey, why don't you try it? And I was like, oh, maybe I will. I don't think it's going to do anything. And the fact that it's worked so well in the last month speaks volumes. People do like me for content. It doesn't have to be gaming content. It could be other content. It's just that I have to be willing to try other things, right? I just think, again, what this person is basically trying to say is your content's free and optional. No one has a right to complain. That's a fair statement, but it's also unfair because the reason that I've had any level of success over the years is because of those who have watched said content and supported it along the way. And if there's people who are like, well, I've supported you for gaming and it sounds like you're not a gamer anymore. You're not watching the content. You're not. In the last week, I played a ton of Resident Evil Code Veronica X. We're halfway through the game now. We tried Killer Bean and Mina the Hollower and decided that Killer Bean isn't for us, but Mina the Hollower is, and we're going to give it a shot tonight, right? We beat Castlevania Symphony of the Night, despite the fact several of the streams weren't even doing well. I kept playing it because I really wanted to see the end of it. We played old school fighting games on Friday night like I like to do, despite the fact it was insanely hard to even find competition. This week, we're playing Star Fox. We're playing the new stuff. It's not like, oh, well, Phil decided he's a Poketuber now. He's skipping all the new games. What new games? I'm doing all the pertinent stuff. Coming up in July, I just mentioned all these new games I'll be playing. I understand the fear. Oh, no, Phil's going to change. It's not going to be the old Phil we love. But at the same time, things have to evolve over time. Do you get that? Like, they have to. To be viable, to continue to be pertinent, you have to change. You can't just sit there stubborn, being exactly the same forever. I know that now. And it seems like more often than not, when I am trying to branch out and change a bit, despite the fact that some people always have the panic mode, the sky is falling, Phil is changing for the worse, things work out. Okay? I'm not too worried about it. I don't think you should be either. I think everything's going to go good. It's just that people are panicking because they're listening to the wrong people. You know? They go watch all the detractor shit, and the detractors are like, oh, see, Phil's a Poketuber. He's just opening packs for money now. It's not about games anymore. That's what they want you to think because that's their content. That's all they make is toxic shit. So there's their next level of toxic shit. Why would you listen to them? You'd have to be a fucking idiot. The only reason they make content is to monetize it. That's it. If they didn't make a buck on their toxic shit, they would never make a video. Let's see here. Someone tipped $2, says if people don't understand what you mean about change, they need to look at what happened to you from 2011 to 2016. Those were, man, exactly right. So from what this person is talking about, if you don't know, 2011 to 2016. In 2011, I started doing this full time. I literally did exactly the same thing for 5 years. I just made gameplay that was for an on-demand audience, period. I didn't branch out. I didn't do new content. It was just the same content constantly for 5 to 6 years. What happened was I started up here, and then it declined, and then it declined, and then it declined, and then it declined, and then it declined. And all other people who saw what I was doing decided to do it in a different way, a fresher way. They innovated. They did different things, and they all surpassed me because I kept doing the same thing. I didn't evolve. I didn't change. I didn't take chances. I didn't try. I just sat there doing the same thing every day, all day for 5 to 6 straight years. I was streaming from 2013 to 2017. I was streaming and ignoring my live audience as if they weren't there to pretend like I was still doing the offline content. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. I lost a ton of my viewers. They were like, what are you doing? You're boring now. You're the same guy. You're a relic. You're a dinosaur. Okay? I had to change. I had to become something different. And then in 2017, I became an interactive live streamer. And so many people said, no, don't do that. You're changing. It's too intrusive. Pop-ups on the screen, too intrusive. Talking to the audience, you're ruining your content because now it doesn't feel like it's me sitting on the couch next to my buddy anymore as you play games and do your commentary. What? You're not going to make sexual comments anymore? You're not going to say racial jokes? You're not going to be risque every 5 possible seconds to fill the dead air because you're talking with your audience? Horrible content. Well, again, spoiler alert, it worked. In fact, I would argue the only reason that I'm still here today in Pertinent is because I became interactive. If I had stayed the same guy all those years, I would be gone. I'd be obsolete. No one would care about Darkside Phil. I would have been out of business. I have to try new things. I have to move and change and shift with trends. Right now, just sitting here playing games all day, every day, it does work for a certain audience, but the audience is dwindling. People are moving on to other content, and to be honest, my audience is aging. As they age, they tend to watch less of me. It's just the truth. I know that for a fact. People move on to other things as they should. So I do have to try to innovate and do different things. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that you guys understand that and it makes sense. Okay? But again, I need you to trust me and not worry that this is the end all be all. It's not.